welcome. You're watching Next IAS English. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic which is happening in Siliguri Corridor, also known as Chicken's Neck, a strategically very important point for India. And let us understand what is happening there. So India strengthened eastern defenses with the 3 new garrisons near Siliguri Chicken's Neck. So India has sent 3 new garrisons in the Siliguri Corridor. Let us understand what's this whole news about. So first of all, let us understand the UPSC relevance of this topic. Why is it important for you to read about it? Why is it important for you to understand this topic? So most frequently asked topic in prelims and mains. This is the most frequently asked topic in prelims and mains, especially GS paper 1 and GS paper 2. And part of Indian geography, of course, it is a part of Indian geography, Northeast India and border areas. Security perspective also it becomes very important. Then internal security, as I have already mentioned, GS paper 3, vulnerability to sectionism and external threats. Then international relations also, GS paper 2, it becomes very relevant and important because India-China relations are being discussed here, India-Bangladesh relations are being discussed here, and India-Bhutan relations are also being discussed here. And for current affairs, as you all know, this exam holds majority chunk of current affairs. So repeatedly in news due to border tensions, this has been repeatedly in news due to border tensions, and map-based questions are also asked in prelims from the Chicken's Neck. So let us understand this topic now. Why Siliguri Corridor is in news? Let us understand why this corridor is in news again. So China's growing presence near the Siliguri Corridor in Doklam and Chumbi Valley. China is rapidly growing its presence in these 2 areas, which becomes a threat for India. So recently Indian Army has reinforcement of 3 new garrison locations established on eastern frontier. So Indian Army is no less. They have also posted their 3 new garrisons locations near the eastern frontier, and there have been, as you all know, that there have been political changes in Bangladesh and a lot has been happening since then. So 2024-2025 concerns over anti-India elements using the corridor is also a possibility. So there are concerns that maybe some anti-India elements cross the corridor and come to India. That becomes again an internal security concern. And increased Chinese activities and infrastructure development near Bhutan, Sikkim, Tibet, tri-junction. So in this tri-junction, there has been increase in the Chinese activities and their infrastructural projects as well. And again, becomes a very problematic concern because there have been clashes for the Chicken's Neck between India and China since a very, very long time. And that is one of the reasons why it is a strategically important point. Then vulnerability highlighted after frequent landslides and floods disrupting connectivity. So there have been frequent landslides and floods near the corridor, and that has disrupted the connectivity. So if anything happens there, it becomes very difficult for Indian Army to reach at that point, in time. So that is one of the reasons why this is in news. So yes, let's move ahead and talk about the strategic importance of Siliguri Corridor. So let us understand why this corridor is so important. See, this is the only land link between mainland India and 8 northeastern states. So if you look at the map, and let me show you first. This is the map, and if you look at the map carefully, this is India, and this is a very small corridor here, and the only corridor, the only mainland between the northeastern states of India and India. So that is one of the reasons why it becomes very, very important. So yes. Then narrowest section, only 20 to 22 kilometers I have already shown. It is a very narrow patch. So it is a narrowest section and highly vulnerable to blockade. It is possible that there can be blockades, as China in the past have claimed some of the northeastern states, and again becomes very, very important for internal security perspective. Then named, I have already mentioned, Chicken's Neck is the name, and single point of failure for northeast connectivity. Now that is the single point of failure northeast connectivity ke liye, and proximity to Chumbi Valley, which is China, just 130 kilometers away. So you can see why it is strategically so important for India. China can theoretically cut off northeast in hours. In hours, China can theoretically cut the northeast. And borders 4 countries. Now this is the corridor which borders 4 countries: Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh and China indirectly. and it is critical for military logistics and rapid troop movement to eastern border. So if there is a rapid troop movement, this corridor becomes very important. And any disruption, military or natural, as we were talking about earlier in the earlier side, that there have been floods and disruptions, can isolate 5 crore people of Northeast. So there are 5 crore people in Northeast, and they can be isolated if there is any disruption, may it be military or natural. Now the key elements in India's Act East policy, it is a key element in India's Act East policy and defense planning as well. So that is why this is very strategically important corridor, and that is why India is increasing their forces in this corridor. Moving forward, let's talk about the MCQ for revision. So we have already discussed multiple dimensions of this topic. We have discussed why this corridor is important strategically, and we have discussed why it was in news. It is in news, and see, Siliguri Corridor is something which is very, very important for UPSC examination, because it has been in news since a very long time now, and there have been multiple questions asked from this chicken's neck question. Okay, so let us understand. Let us see who is able to answer this question, because we have already discussed this in the video. The Siliguri Corridor is popularly known as India's Gateway, Chicken's Neck, Himalayan Bridge, Eastern Corridor. It's a very easy answer. I want you all to answer this in the comment section below. Let's see who will be able to answer this question. And that is it for today. I will see you in another deep dive video. Until then, bye-bye. Take care.